All right, hello and welcome to Tax Savers University. This is Tyler McBroom, your CPA host, and today is Marketing Mondays. And if you're first time joining us on Marketing Mondays, what we do is every Monday we bring on Andy, our brand director, company brand director, to discuss kind of what we're going on, have a conversation about what we're doing in the world of marketing, what's working, what's not. And so excited about bringing you that again today. But before we dive in, as always, we bring you daily tax and business tips for free. And one thing that would be greatly appreciative is if you found any value in this or any of the podcasts, if you could either A, tell a friend, or B, leave us a review. Would greatly appreciate it. It helps us get the message out there. Taxes is one of those really confusing things for business owners everywhere. And we're trying to deconfuse this topic for people. So that is something that I would greatly appreciate. And so without further ado, let's, sorry for the feedback, I've got Instagram Live going here, but sorry Instagram Live, we're gonna have to say goodbye because the mic wasn't coming in right. So see ya. Oh, didn't mean to laugh. And we can leave that all in. So just so you know, we were rolling Instagram Live right there. Now we're not. We're just got you. This is exclusive podcast only content. So welcome, Andy.
Yep, it's Friday.
It's Friday, but you're hearing this on a Monday. So if you saw this on the Instagram Live, we're one of the few, you know that we record these on Friday afternoon, and that kind of helps us. This is when we do our time blocking. Have had a number of people, as we've rolled out McBroom Media on helping other professionals with their social media and personal brand. Number of questions we've had around that is the cadence of how much time does it take of mine versus Andy's. And so we usually time block Friday afternoons because this stuff is fun for me. And so it's something to look forward to on Friday when instead of doing that really heady tax work. So the time blocking. So Andy, hello, what's going on with us and marketing this week?
The main thing is the 5 for 5. We started sending out the gift cards. If you checked in last week, we're doing a 5 for 5. So anybody that comments within the first 5 minutes of every post, we'll send them out a $5 gift card.
With the hashtag tax saver.
That's right.
Because everyone who follows us is a tax saver. They save on taxes. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So ran across our first hiccup there, which was just like more of a back-end thing, making sure that everybody gets gift cards. And
fulfillment of orders. Yeah. We're a service company, not a product company.
Yeah.
So now delivering these products is obviously not a skill set of ours.
Yeah. So engagement's going up. We are getting people that are the consistent people that are commenting and using the hashtags, which is awesome to see. So that's cool. You get to see the people that are really loyal to the brand and following up with the account. But yeah, just a lot of good stuff going on, a lot of different things. So just keeping a pulse on everything.
Yeah. So if you're not participating in the 5 for 5, it's free money. So go out there, turn notifications on at Tyler McBroom on Instagram, and just comment hashtag taxsaver. Ideally, leave a little bit of a feedback on what you enjoyed about the post or something, but that's all good. Just love seeing you engage, and that's been really cool. Another kind of, it ended up being side by side in tandem with the 5 for 5 deal is something that we've started doing is using kind of what's called an Instagram engagement group. So there's a mastermind group that I'm a part of that everyone who's trying to build their presence on Instagram said, here's my Instagram. And so there's, 30 or 40 active people within there. And everyone shares their whenever they post, they say posted and then a link to their profile. And one of the reasons behind that is that if you get some comments within the first 30 minutes to an hour, it helps the rest of your followers see. If you've got a lot of engagement within that first hour, the way that Instagram's algorithm works, it helps your followers see more followers see the posts. And so that's kind of part of the strategy behind the 5 for 5. But being part of an Instagram engagement group where you have some co-friends, people of similar audiences, go and leave thoughtful, relevant comments right after you post, that definitely helps get that visibility up. And it's not just a heart, heart, heart emoji or a, hey, love what you're doing, go peep my profile type of comment. It's like legitimately contextual, like your followers would follow. So that's been kind of a new development also, that's been that in tandem with the 5 for 5 has seen our comments go from maybe a couple to now you'd see, we're seeing from what used to be maybe 2 comments per post, now it's 25, 30 comments per post, which is huge. That's massive. So that's really cool to see. And I think it's turning into, it's not just the 5 for 5 people and the engagement group people commenting, but it's turning into other people outside of that scope commenting more too, because they're seeing people interact with the page.
Well, it's becoming more of a community.
Yeah.
I think that's also translating to direct messages.
Yeah.
Just people reaching out.
Right.
Again, just community of people on their account, which is awesome to see.
So let's talk about, and because we were just kind of on a call with someone, they were asking about this, is what are the key metrics that actually matter as far as what we're tracking that determines not just cool Insta-famous success, but translates into actual business success? Yeah. And I'll let you lead with the answers here.
So our main metric, as you know, this quarter was direct messages, and that's what we've found after meeting a few times, that the amount of direct messages we receive correlates to the amount of new clients we receive from Instagram. So that's been our key indicator this quarter, and that's probably the most obvious one that comes to mind. Everything else is cool, like having the likes and the comments. Obviously, we want to have that be strong and grow that, but as we found, the direct message is kind of where it's at.
Right, and so the big push, if you've noticed, on our accounts has gone from, we as we've evolved, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, realizing that if I can get a direct message, which turns into them wanting to engage, which turns into a phone call, which turns into showing them how we can save them thousands of dollars in taxes, which turns into them being stoked to become a client. So more of our content is tailored to, hey, if this is something that's relevant to you, send me a DM. We can figure out if it works for you. Frankly, it's wise for giving out tax advice anyways, because you don't want to do something unless you know it works for your specific situation. But I think that's going to be true no matter what business you're in. If you can get a one-on-one conversation with them, that's going to be more powerful than them just seeing your content. And so we've been working on it, and Andy's been pushing more content tailored towards, hey, reach out for a DM, swipe up, schedule an appointment. We want to talk to you. We can handle clients in any state in the country, so reach out. And so that's been increasing the activity for sure. Yeah,
I think to piggyback off that, for people that maybe aren't pushing the content and are using DMs to either pitch their service or are looking for somebody to either do their taxes or do marketing, whatever it might be. To really just treat it like an actual conversation. Obviously, we see a bunch of DMs that come in and just very spammy. Or just not very thought out, in my opinion, as far as direct messages. So just be thoughtful and know that people are still people. So reach out in the proper manner, but there's still a lot of opportunity there. Again, if you're looking for somebody to take care of whatever service you need done, or if you're yourself trying to build out a relationship with somebody.
Yeah, and with that, in regards to that, most of the DMs that we get are actual legitimate tax questions. And it's not just a, hey, sign up for our services. We actually answer those questions and then ask them if they have a CPA or if they're interested in possibly talking about what we might be able to do for them. But first, and it's the same prospect or process when you're building out your social following. It's not just talking about yourself when you're creating content. It's delivering value, educating them on your area of expertise. And so it goes the same way within direct messages of, they've got questions, or if you can help them one-on-one answer those questions. And there's plenty of times that people reach out and they're not qualified clients, or they're not the niche we serve, but I can answer their question. Or I had someone who would have been a great qualified client the other day reach out, but they live in Australia. We don't do taxes for people in Australia, but I have a Facebook group network of CPAs around the world that I'm a part of. I was able to reach out to that and say, hey, who can handle this client? Introduced them, sent them their way. That took probably 15 to 20 minutes extra of my time. Wasn't billable time or necessarily, quote, income producing time, but it was the right thing to do. It provided value for that person. They appreciated it. I'm certainly not going to get anything coming back to me because an Australia business found another CPA, but it's providing value to the audience, and who knows who they might know eventually in the United States. And it's just when you're delivering that consistent kind of value, it's just good overall.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, karma's a real thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So what else? What else we got going on?
Let me think. Quite a bit of different things going on this week. One thing that's just been on my mind as far as a back-end process is creating a little bit more structure. I know I've been pretty well about creating a structure behind the marketing and actually having it have a strategy behind it. I really want to get something going a little bit more in depth, I guess, because this week for sure has been a little bit adding the 5 for 5 and different aspects has been just like some growing pains this week.
Yeah.
So actually creating a little bit more infrastructure behind it would be nice. It's something that I think will be worth taking like an hour out of the day.
Yeah, community management stuff,
exactly.
Right? And you were mentioning that with when we had one of our other clients that we do the social media for, with when they were running promotions and all the tags and comments and replying and so going through that.
Yeah, and just replying and managing everything.
Yeah, there's the beast of creating content, and then there's the beast of managing a community, which is a whole nother different beast and animal, right?
Exactly.
So,
and back to the point of like the call that we had earlier today, I think there's a misunderstanding of what it takes to run the social media side. Obviously, we know everything is second nature because we're in it. Running it every day.
Yeah.
But actually seeing the back end work to it, and then just the long-term value versus the short-term value.
That it's an investment.
Yeah,
it's an investment.
We kind of lightly touched on this like before too, as far as like the long game. But, it's definitely something that, as again now having months behind us of work, now we're seeing a lot of like growth and kind of like it's not unusual to have all these DMs rolling in, but in the beginning it was. Oh, okay, we got like some DMs.
Yeah, cool.
Now it's kind of like expected.
Right.
And so communicating that to other people and showing them the value behind it.
Right.
Too. And I'm sure as well it still costs less to do the social media thing versus other things that maybe you can't track the analytics behind it. Because that's been a big thing with the social media thing is you can see exactly, oh, this post isn't working. Our numbers are down, or this week was good. Why was it? Like, what posts were we putting out? Oh, we're focusing more towards sending people to DMs, so our DMs went up. Let's do more of that.
Right. So. Well, and then there's that of the cost effective of knowing where it's coming from versus other channels of marketing. For a lot of people in my business, the public accounting business, most of their marketing is we get referrals. And so it's a very passive way to market, is hoping that people are going to, there's a very small percentage of CPA firms that actually spend money on marketing. So there's a mental hurdle to get over of not just social media, and we can touch on that part of it of just getting started, but actually spending money on marketing. Because most it's just not on the radar of most CPA firms. Especially kind of your one-man shops, but it's those people that don't do it that need it the most.
Yeah.
So yeah. But on that, continuing that conversation, going into what's needed to just get started. Like, talk a little bit about from your end, and then I'll add my part of the conversation of what do you really need to have it be a legitimate social media account that might generate some followers and some business.
And just from the beginning.
Yeah.
It would just be uploading anything that you feel you know a good amount about. I feel a lot of times we as people kind of undervalue what we know. It could be as simple as you're taking a biology class and what you're learning in that bio class as a college student, and today we learned this. This is my take on it.
Yeah.
And you turn that camera on you, record for 60 seconds, your thoughts, and if there's something that you want to expand on in the caption, you just type it out long form. But as you post more often, things like that, you slowly start seeing different things that other people are doing or different things that you could do better on your post, and you just keep growing off that. And I mean that's basically it. I know from a personal side, obviously I don't post that much on my own account, but it's kind of that same thing. It's, maybe I think I'm not as well versed as somebody that's 40 years old. My value is kind of what I'm learning throughout the process in this year, and also just your life experience. Like there's always somebody out there that if you share an honest story about something that you've learned or your take on something, that there's one person that will find value in it. And all it takes is one person saying, oh, okay, this guy makes a lot of sense. I'm going to share it with my buddy, kind of like a direct message I saw come into your account, where I believe he was an accountant and worked in that industry, and said he was telling all his buddies about this account. And so just having that right there is something that's kind of like an intangible that you can't really necessarily track. But you have these DMs come in, and somebody's like really fascinated with your content, it relates to them, and they share it with their friends. And then you don't know who those friends share it out to. So again, it's just kind of just
did we cover Honky Tonk Tyler last time? I don't know if we did.
I'm sure
we'll cover it again because it's awesome. No, it's not that awesome, but it highlights this exact thing we're talking about. And we've talked before about, hey, just start, just record, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in your area of business. There's a lot of people that have a hurdle about the camera. And so if you've seen a couple of my Throwback Thursdays on Instagram, back in grad school, I created a little character called Honky Tonk Tyler, like honky tonks, like you go see country music, where I did beer reviews and country concert reviews. And so they're unlisted on YouTube now. I might relist them again, but we're saving those for private Instagram only Throwback Thursday content right now. But if you look at them, it's basically just me reviewing things like Coors Light, talking to the camera, and talking about how it's an ideal beer pong beer. It's the perfect beer pong beer, and just getting in front of the camera. And so if you're a CPA, but you're not comfortable and don't want to ruin your brand because you're not comfortable in front of the camera yet, you can start by if you love gardening, just pick up the camera and talk about succulents and cacti and how to keep an orchid alive, because I sure as heck don't know how. And then you'll be practicing on something that doesn't matter. It's not your business that's real money that's affecting. And frankly, even if you practice and aren't that good, hardly anyone's going to see. So it's not going to negatively impact your business, even if you talk about taxes or whatever else you're a professional at. But if you're not comfortable with that, start small by talking about a personal passion. You don't even have to have the account that you start relate to your name. If it's gardening, call it Succulents for Success or something, and just start posting about, and just do only video, so you get super comfortable with that. And all it takes, our iPhones or whatever, not promoting iPhone here, but whatever smartphone that you have is good enough that it's way more than a professional camera was 5 years ago. So just practice on, if you're not comfortable using it on where you're making money, start by practicing on a personal passion. And I think that's a good way to get started in getting those on-camera jitters out.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think kind of as you were talking, it made me realize something for even the younger demo, as far as like the Honky Tonk Tyler, recording something, putting it on the internet just makes for great content when you're 10 years down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, man, like, look at that. Like, I was like 10 years younger, and then somebody else uses it, and then they think about when they were at that age. And I think it's just like a cool nostalgic fact to it.
For sure.
And it's just cool to document.
Yeah, definitely. We might have to pull up some snippets of Magic, Mayhem, and Mystery, my writer's blog from when I was
nice.
when I was documenting my journey to get my young adult book published.
When was that? Grad school too?
It was right before grad school.
Okay.
So in college, I wrote a novel, got a couple nibbles from agents, but then decided I wanted a real paycheck, and so I put that on the back burner. Children's writing pays the bills if you're J.K. Rowling, but not if you're the rest of the planet. So I may publish it soon, though. If you're hearing this and you want me to publish my young adult novel that I describe as a cross between the Chronicles of Narnia and Harry Potter, shoot me a DM on Instagram, and we may have to self-publish that. So I could dig it up. I got it on a file somewhere. But yeah, so but things like that too. It's just having that record. But that has obviously, if you're following me, you probably don't know about that, and it has no bearing whatsoever on building my professional following. So just getting started in something totally unrelated will help you build those skills and build that knowledge of because then something might hit. Like, for example, most of my Honky Tonk Tyler posts have 4 or 5 views. The Coors Light beer review's got 560 views on it for some reason. So something popped on that. So you never know, but it helps you practice on practice when it doesn't count. So I think that's a good strategy if you're concerned about it affecting your actual business brand. So, anything else you want to add to the conversation?
I'm trying to think here. I know we're shifting a focus from shoutouts to
Instagram ads.
Instagram ads. So that'll be. I know you started doing it a little bit this week.
Yeah.
But I'll be. I'm interested to see what it looks like at the end of next week as far as engagement and just reach. But I think as we're kind of finding out, as we're doing more and more shout outs, we're getting less less bang for our buck than we did in the beginning. So
and it's also, I think it's the follower count. It's like an all or nothing. It's not a scaling where if it's 100,000 follower account that you're doing a shout out on, you get 40 followers, and then if it's a 3 million following account, you get 500 followers. It's almost like 500 or nothing.
Yeah.
It's like 500 or 5.
Yeah.
So you've got to go, if you're looking at Instagram paid shout outs as a form of advertising, it works, but you got to go on those big verified accounts.
Yeah.
At least in our experience, the kind of onesie twosie weak 500,000 follower accounts, which is still a lot, but it just shows. And I think what matters more is how engaged their audience is.
Yeah.
So if they, I was looking at one that didn't go so well. That was it was a 1 million follower account, but I went and looked. If you look at the one account that's gotten us a lot, their likes per post is 5,000 to 10,000 likes per post. I went and looked and it had 500 or 600 likes per post.
Okay.
So I think engagement on those accounts matters. And if you look at the comments within those accounts, if it's a bunch of actual related to those relevant posts, relevant comments, then it's going to convert and win. If it's a bunch of, hey, awesome stuff, peep my profile, then it's not going to convert to followers and increased in audience and exposure.
Yeah, and usually those ones that you mentioned that their engagement matches their following are also ones that have been around for years now.
Since the beginning of when Instagram really took off.
Those out. And maybe even switching between industries, because if somebody follows, for example, a millionaire mentor type of account, it's probably going to follow the smaller ones as well.
Yeah.
So we're kind of reaching the same people.
Right, exactly.
Just kind of change it up because, again, kind of thinking out loud, business owners have multiple interests other than just business.
Yeah.
So somebody that's super into barbecuing or something might follow this chef that's been on Instagram for 5 years and takes tips from him.
Yeah.
So maybe something to explore.
Yeah, we may play with that. Go to Weber's Instagram. Hey,
shout out.
Your grillers need tax tips too.
Yeah, exactly. Right off that barbecue.
And Weber, you should pay me for this one. If you're listening.
If you're listening.
Sweet. Alrighty. Well, I think that's going to wrap up Marketing Monday. Hopefully you're enjoying these. We are. It's fun. And as always, if you found some value, as I mentioned at the beginning, please go tell a friend or leave a review. And if you're listening to this and all the way to the end, go hit me up on Twitter at Tyler McBroom CPA or Instagram at Tyler McBroom and shoot me a DM or tweet me. Let me know you're enjoying this podcast. Would mean the world to me. Love getting messages from you guys. And tax savers, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.